Dear students, welcome to our YouTube channel Chem Origin. This is Dr. Satish Kumar.
Students, in the hydrogen and its compounds lesson, in first module we saw the position of hydrogen in the periodic table. So students, we saw different conditions for placing the hydrogen in 1A group elements. So generally hydrogen have some similar properties like alkali metals, and also hydrogen is having some similarities with halogens, but there are some differences with alkali metals as well as with halogens. So finally, based on the electronic configuration, we give the place for hydrogen at the top of the 1A group elements according to its electronic configuration, its valency configuration. Generally hydrogen is placed in a 1A group, but actually hydrogen have some similar properties like halogens also. So students, in this video module 2 we discuss about the occurrence of hydrogen and preparation of dihydrogen, that is H2. So we can see in detail occurrence of hydrogen. Students, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. So students, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe because the hydrogen is coming from sun. Generally the hydrogen is produced, sun contains lot of hydrogen inside that. So students, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. Next, planets, the giant planets, the bigger planets Jupiter and Saturn consist of mostly of hydrogen. So students, we know planets. So Jupiter, planet Jupiter and Saturn also consist of mostly hydrogen element. So students, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, and the planets like Jupiter and Saturn consist major amount of mostly of hydrogen. Next, hydrogen is the third most abundant element on the surface of the globe. On the surface of the globe, hydrogen is the third most abundant element. Hydrogen is the third most abundant element on the surface of the globe. Next, it is not in our atmosphere. Students, we know hydrogen is a lighter element. Its atomic number is 1. Its electronic configuration is 1s1. So hydrogen contains only one electron, and its atomic number is 1. This is the lightest element. So earth's gravitational force, or earth having a gravitational force, we know students, that's why every object is placed on the earth only. When you throw away from the earth, again it comes to the down to the earth because of earth's gravitational force. Earth's gravitational force. But even though earth is having gravitational force, the gravitational force is not sufficient to hold the lighter H2 molecules. That's why generally H2 is not available in our atmosphere, because hydrogen is a lighter element, and the H2 molecule, the combination of two hydrogen atoms, that is also very smaller or lighter weight molecule. So it easily goes to the outside from our atmosphere. The gravitational force of the earth is not enough to hold the H2 molecules to retain in our atmosphere. As a result, generally in our atmosphere, the availability or the presence of H2 is very less because of the lighter weight of the H2 molecule. So it immediately goes out to the atmosphere. So students, these are the occurrence of the hydrogen. So in the universe, major amount, around 70% of hydrogen is present in our universe. Next one is isotopes of hydrogen. Isotopes of hydrogen. Students, we know the definition of isotope. So elements which are having same atomic number, atoms of a same element having same atomic number but differ in their mass number are called isotopes to each other. So isotopes are the elements which are having same atomic number but differ in their mass number. Means the elements are having same number of protons, same number of electrons, but difference in their number of neutrons. So differ in the number of neutrons and having same atomic number are called isotopes. Isotopes. So isotopes definition we are very well known, students. So atoms of a same element having same atomic number but different mass number are called isotopes to each other. So in our present concept, hydrogen is also having three isotopes. So in nature there are three isotopes are exist for hydrogen. Hydrogen is available in the form of three isotopes. So what are those we can see in detail. So there are hydrogen is available in the form of three isotopes. The first one is ordinary hydrogen. It is also called protium. Protium. Students, the terminology is very important. Protium. It is also called ordinary hydrogen. Ordinary hydrogen is also called protium. So the protium symbol is 1H1. So in this one represents the number of protons and the mass number is also 1 only. So in case of protium, hydrogen is having zero number of neutrons. Zero number of neutrons. So students, very carefully you can listen. Protium is having one proton and one electron and zero neutrons. So protium symbol is 1H1. This protium is also called ordinary hydrogen. This is the isotope of hydrogen. Next one is heavy hydrogen. Heavy hydrogen. It is also called deuterium. 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 It is also called heavy hydrogen. Deuterium or heavy hydrogen. So students, this deuterium symbol is 1H2. This deuterium symbol is 1H2. This deuterium symbol is 1H2. This deuterium symbol is 1H2 or it is also denoted with 1D2. Here this capital D means deuterium. This capital D means deuterium. So students, deuterium is denoted with 1H2 or 1D2. Capital D, it denotes deuterium. So students, in case of deuterium, deuterium is having one proton and one electron and also one neutron. One neutron is present in case of deuterium. That's why it is denoted as a 1H2. 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 So one proton, one electron and one neutron is present in deuterium. Therefore its symbol is 1H2. The number of neutrons in deuterium is 1. Next isotope of hydrogen is tritium. Tritium. Its symbol is 1H3. 1H3 or also we can denote it with this one 1T3. 1T3. So capital T students, capital T. For deuterium, capital D. For protium, capital H. So for protium the symbol is capital H. For deuterium the symbol is capital D. For tritium the symbol is capital T or we can denote it with 1H3. So students, the isotope of hydrogen tritium is having one proton, one electron but it contains two neutrons. So students, tritium contains one proton, one electron and two neutrons and its symbol is 1H3. So see students, these are the three isotopes of hydrogens: protium, deuterium and tritium. So these three are having same atomic number 1 but mass number is different. In case of protium, mass number is 1. In case of deuterium, mass number is 2. In case of tritium, mass number is 3. So from the definition of isotopes, so atoms of a same element having same atomic number but difference in their mass number. So students, these three isotopes of hydrogen is having same electronic configuration, that is 1s1. So 1s1, 1s1 is the electronic configuration of protium or deuterium or tritium. Both, all the three isotopes of hydrogen is having same electronic configuration. So students, therefore the chemical properties of three isotopes of hydrogen are identical, because three isotopes are having same electronic configuration. As a result, the three isotopes of hydrogen is having similar chemical properties. So there is no difference in their chemical properties, because the three isotopes of hydrogen is having same electronic configuration. But students, the physical properties of isotopes of hydrogen is different, because the difference in their mass number. So their physical properties are different. When you see tritium is different, physical properties of tritium is different from deuterium, and deuterium physical properties are different from protium, but the chemical properties are same for these three isotopes. So students, out of these three isotopes, tritium is a radioactive nature element. Radioactive element. Radioactive element means it emits low energy particles. Low energy beta particles. This is beta. This is beta. Low energy beta particles. So tritium is a radioactive element and it emits low energy beta particles. So the reaction is 1T3. This is already I told you, tritium 1T3. 1 is the atomic number, 3 is the mass number of tritium. So 1T3, after emission of low energy beta particles, this is the reaction takes place, and the nucleus is changes to 2 helium 3 minus E0. 2 helium 3 and negative part is released. So students, here the addition of electron takes place. See here, atomic number is 1 and here the atomic number changes to 2. So students, tritium is a radioactive element and it emits low energy beta particles, and this is the reaction takes place. But students, these isotopes of hydrogen is having very important applications in our chemistry. Students, you know, in NMR spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy is present. NMR spectroscopy is an analytical technique in chemistry. More in most of the organic compounds, most of the organic molecules or organic compounds can be identified, can be, the structure can be identified with the help of NMR spectroscopy. It is also called nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. So in the NMR spectroscopy, generally for dissolving the organic compounds, we used a deuterated solvents. Deuterated solvents. For example, students, you see water's molecular formula is H2O, but deuterated water is also existable. Deuterated water is also available and its formula is D2O. D2O. For example, in majority of organic compounds, to record the proton NMR spectroscopy, generally chloroform solvent is used for dissolving the organic compounds. But instead of chloroform means CHCl3, we are using deuterated chloroform. That means its formula is CdCl3. CdCl3. Students, we know the molecular formula of chloroform is CHCl3. CHCl3 is the chloroform, molecular formula of chloroform. But in case of NMR spectroscopy, we used a deuterated solvent CDCl3. CDCl3. In place of hydrogen, we are using deuterium. So CDCl3 is used as a solvent to soluble the organic compound in order to record the NMR spectroscopy. Not only CDCl3, we also used sometimes D2. So students, the deuterated solvents are used in the NMR spectroscopy. Deuterated solvents are used as a solvents in the NMR spectroscopy. For example, deuterated chloroform CdCl3 or deuterated methanol CD3OD or deuterated water D2O. So these deuterium salts are having very important applications in NMR spectroscopy. And one more application of isotopes of hydrogen is the mechanistic studies of chemical reactions. So the chemical reactions mechanism we can identify in which pathway the reaction takes place, in which manner the reaction takes place. We can identify with the help of these isotopes of hydrogen. So students, these are the applications of isotopes in chemistry. Next concept is preparation of H2. Preparation of H2 or H2 is also called as a dihydrogen. Dihydrogen H2. Preparation of H2. Students, we can prepare the hydrogen, dihydrogen H2 in two methods. In the small scale, in a laboratory scale or a small scale, we can prepare it in two methods. The first one is the small scale production, means laboratory scale. In our chemistry lab, we can prepare the hydrogen in this manner. When you treat the dilute sulfuric acid is treated with a granules of zinc metal. Granules of zinc. It liberates hydrogen gas. H2 gas is evolved from the reaction. Whenever dilute H2SO4 is treated with a granulated zinc, it forms a zinc sulfate and H2 gas is liberated. So students, the apparatus for the laboratory preparation of hydrogen is in this manner. So this is the setup of laboratory preparation of hydrogen. So students, in this the apparatus is, first one is Wolff's bottle. Wolff's bottle. Students, if you see, this is the bottle. This bottle is called Wolff's bottle. Wolff's bottle is having two opens. So it is having two mouths. This is mouth 1 and this is mouth 2. In the mouth 1, we placed a Thistyle funnel. Thistyle funnel. This is called Thistyle funnel. Thistyle funnel. Just its name is Thistyle funnel. Students, you know what is funnel? We are already used in our lab, funnel. So through funnel we can add solvents very comfortably. So in the Wolff's bottle, there are two mouths is present. In one mouth, Thistyle funnel is present. So through this Thistyle funnel, we can add an acid inside the Wolff's bottle. So students, initially in the Wolff's bottle, we taken a granulated zinc. Granulated zinc is taken in the bottom of the Wolff's bottle. Through Thistyle funnel, we can add a acid. Let that it may be a sulfuric acid or it may be a hydrochloric acid. So through Thistyle funnel, we can add a dilute sulfuric acid or dilute HCl. So students, this reaction takes place at room temperature only. At room temperature only the reaction takes place. So this is a highly favorable reaction. No need to heat for this reaction. So students, you can take a Wolff's bottle. Inside the Wolff's bottle you can take granulated zinc. Through this granulated zinc you can add a dilute H2SO4 or dilute HCl through Thistyle funnel, and the reaction takes place at room temperature only. After reaction takes place, H2 gas is evolved. The evolved H2 gas is passed through the delivery tube. In the second mouth of the Wolff's bottle, a delivery tube is arranged. This is called delivery tube. So through this hydrogen gas is passed into the another bowl. This bowl consists of water. This is water. So the hydrogen gas which is liberated in the Wolff's bottle is passed to the another bowl. It consists of water. So at the bottom we can release the hydrogen gas. So through the water the H2 gas is coming outside. So students, this is the laboratory preparation of hydrogen gas. This is the setup. Very simple. It is having one Wolff's bottle and it is having two mouths. In one mouth we placed a Thistyle funnel and another mouth is connected with a delivery tube. So through Thistyle funnel we can add a acid. and the inside the Wolff's bottle already we placed a granulated zinc. So during this reaction is takes place at room temperature only. So during the reaction, the evolved H2 gas is traveled through this delivery tube in the bottom of the water, which is presented in another bowl. So hydrogen gas is very light, it is coming out from the water. So here H2 gas is we can collected. So students, not only from the acid, we can also prepare the H2 gas with the aqueous alkali or aqueous sodium hydroxide. So when you treated the granulated zinc, with aqueous sodium hydroxide, it forms a Na2ZnO2 and liberates H2 gas. So students, in a laboratory scale or small scale, we can prepare the H2 dihydrogen in two methods. One is treating the granulated zinc with dilute acids, or treating the granulated zinc with aqueous bases, aqueous sodium hydroxide. So but students, here two important notes is that in case of treating of granulated zinc with H2SO4, this reaction should be conducted at room temperature only. This reaction is conducted at room temperature only. And also pure zinc is not suitable for this reaction. So impure zinc is suitable for the preparation of dihydrogen when reaction with the dilute H2SO4. So pure zinc is not suitable. It requires a impure zinc only suitable for this reaction. And the second note is that we should always use a dilute H2SO4. Concentrated H2SO4 is not suitable for the preparation of H2, because concentrated H2SO4 is acts as a strong oxidizing agent. As a result, along with H2 gas, there is a possibility of release of or liberation of SO2, sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide may be released whenever if you use a concentrated H2SO4. So students, in the preparation of lab scale of dihydrogen, we use always dilute acids. These dilute acids are treated with a granulated zinc and the hydrogen gas is liberated. And also the H2 gas, dihydrogen, is also prepared when you treat the granulated zinc with a aqueous bases or aqueous alkalis like NaOH. Students, in not only laboratory scale, we also prepared the dihydrogen H2 commercially in the following manner. So what are those? We can see in detail. Commercially, we produce the dihydrogen. So this dihydrogen we can prepare commercially by the electrolysis of acidified water with the help of platinum electrode. With the help of platinum electrode, we can manufactured or prepared this hydrogen gas or dihydrogen. So students, how this hydrogen gas is coming from the acidified water with the help of platinum electrode, you can learn very clearly in the lesson of electrochemistry. There you can detailedly learn the what is platinum electrode, how it is functioning during the electrolysis of water. So during the electrolysis of water, platinum acts as a electrode, and how it is help to produce the H2 gas or dihydrogen. And the next one is next method for the commercial preparation is reaction of hydrocarbons. Students, we are very familiar with this word hydrocarbons. In the 4th A group elements video modules, I am already explained you hydrocarbons. So compounds containing hydrogen and carbon are called hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbons or coke. Coke is a source of carbon. Coke is a raw material which contains carbon. So when you treated the hydrocarbons or coke with a steam means the gaseous state water. Steam means water in gaseous state. So when you treat the hydrocarbons or coke with a steam at a higher temperature in presence of a metal catalyst like nickel, it produces or it liberates H2 gas. or dihydrogen is produced. So whenever hydrocarbons are treated with a, for example, if you see in this example, I am taking methane, CH4, methane as an example for the production of dihydrogen or H2. So students, methane, CH4 is treated with steam, that is gaseous stated water at high temperature around at 1270 kelvins. It produces CO plus H2 gas. Students, do you remember or not? What is the mixture of CO and H2? So just you can think now. Similarly, students, if you treat the coke is a source of carbon. So when you treated the coke with a steam water or H2O, gaseous state water at temperature 1270 Kelvin, again it liberates H2 gas. H2 gas along with H2, CO also produced. CO gas plus H2 gas. Students, you know the mixture of CO gas and H2 gas is called water gas. Do you remember or forgot? So students, what is the formula of water gas? Water gas is a mixture of water gas. Water gas is a mixture of CO plus H2. It is called water gas. Students, water gas is used for the preparation of hydrocarbons and methanol. Water gas is used for the synthesis of hydrocarbons, different hydrocarbons, number of hydrocarbons, and also this water gas means the mixture of CO and H2 gas. This mixture is called water gas. With the help of this water gas, we can also prepare methanol. Methanol we can prepare with the help of water gas. Students, we know the formula of methanol: CH3OH. CH3OH is the molecular formula of methanol. So with the help of water gas, students, we can prepare methanol and also number of hydrocarbons. That's why students, this water gas is also called syngas or synthetic gas. Syngas or synthetic gas. By using this water gas, we can prepare hydrocarbons and methanol. That's why this CO plus H2 gaseous mixture is also called as a synthesis gas or syngas. Synthesis gas or syngas. So students, commercially we can prepare dihydrogen in this manner. Students, commercially H2 dihydrogen is also prepared by in this following manner. So students, in the previous slide you saw, by treating the coke with a steam, it produces CO plus H2. That mixture of CO plus H2 water gas is also called as a syngas or synthetic gas. So students, the amount of H2, the quantity, the liberation of hydrogen is increased with the help of syngas also. Students, you know syngas is a mixture of CO and H2. So students, with this syngas mixture, it contains carbon monoxide, is again treated with a steam at a temperature around 673 Kelvin in presence of a iron chromate catalyst. In presence of a iron chromate catalyst at 673 Kelvin, when you treated the carbon monoxide, which is a carbon monoxide of syngas. Syngas means mixture of CO and H2. So the mixture containing carbon monoxide is treated with a steam. In presence of iron chromate catalyst, it liberates a higher amount of hydrogen. Higher amount of hydrogen is formed and the CO is converted into CO2 gas. CO2 gas. So students, this reaction is called water gas shift reaction. Water gas shift reaction. Whenever the syngas, it is a mixture of CO plus H2. The syngas mixture containing carbon monoxide is treated with a steam, H2O, gaseous water in presence of iron chromate catalyst. CO2 gas plus H2 gas is liberated. This reaction is called water gas shift reaction. Water gas shift reaction. Students, here hydrogen H2 is a gas and CO2 is a gas. So in order to isolate the pure H2 gas, after completion of this reaction, CO2 is removed from this gaseous mixture with the help of scrubbing with a sodium arsenate solution. Sodium arsenate solution means, students, this CO2 plus H2 gas mixture is passed through the solution of sodium arsenate. So that sodium arsenate solution with will catch the CO2 gas and H2 gas is evolved outside. So students, in this manner the quantity, the amount of H2 or dihydrogen can be increased in this manner. This is called water gas shift reaction. And also there is another method. In this method, here hydrogen gas or H2 gas is formed as a byproduct or unwanted product. Students, if you see brine solution, students, you know very well about brine solution. Brine solution is nothing but NaCl solution. NaCl solution is called brine solution. Sodium chloride solution is called brine solution. So students, whenever the electrolysis of brine solution, H2 gas is produced as a byproduct. In the electrolysis of brine solution, H2 gas is formed as a byproduct. For example, if you see the electrolysis of brine solution, NaCl solution, at anode Cl minus ions are present and the Cl minus ions are combined to form a chlorine gas is evolved at anode. At anode, Cl2 gas is evolved in the electrolysis of brine solution. Brine means NaCl solution. And at the cathode, students, water catches the electrons which are produced at anode. So here H2 gas is evolved. H2 gas is evolved and OH minus ions, hydroxide ions are formed at the cathode. So students, the overall reaction during the electrolysis of NaCl solution or brine solution, this is the overall reaction. So students, Cl minus chloride ions converted into Cl2 gas. From water, H2 gas is released. The OH minus ions and the Na plus ions combine to form a sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. Along with sodium hydroxide, chlorine gas and hydrogen gas is also liberated. So students, during the electrolysis of brine solution, H2 gas is evolved as a byproduct. So students, in this manner commercially we can prepare the dihydrogen or H2 gas. Okay students, I hope you enjoyed this session. So students, in today's video module class, we discussed about the occurrence of hydrogen and isotopes of hydrogen, and also we saw the preparation of dihydrogen, that is H2. So that hydrogen preparation, H2 gas preparation, dihydrogen preparation, both in laboratory scale as well as in commercial manner, the methods are we detailedly discussed in this video module 2. So thank you very much students.